welcome to Vienna. You are Finan.
I'm Finan. Yes, I'm a conductor from London, and yeah, to be making music here is quite special, especially at the moment with everything else shut down. I didn't think 3 weeks ago that I would be doing anything musical, and so yeah, the academy here is huge for me at the moment.
Very good, thank you. And Otis.
Hello, I'm Otis. I'm the other assistant conductor here, and I'm also from London, and it's my first time in Vienna, so it's lovely to be here.
Thank you. Very much, very good. So, how are you finding the time so far, and in relation to your background? So, what is your general background in terms of music, and how did you find your way to the Vienna Opera Academy?
So I originally, the way my connection to here is I knew Toby from back when I was a freelance bassoon player in London, and over the past few years I've moved more into conducting and taken that more seriously, and I was sat around my flat for 4 months doing nothing and saw something Toby put up about the Vienna Opera Academy, and I thought, where better and what better time to kind of throw myself back into it. Yeah.
And your whole when did you start studying music? When did you enter this world?
So I didn't start taking music seriously at all until I was about 16. I'd sung at school and stuff, but I started taking it really seriously at about 16, started thinking about music college, and I realised it could be a job, and that was amazing to me because people would hand me these envelopes full of money and I'd just be doing things that were fun. Maybe we lose that one. So then I did my music college audition, spent 4 years as an undergraduate bassoon player. And then through that I was always doing a bit of conducting, and it was in the back of my mind. But I went out and I freelanced for a little bit as a bassoon player, and then got offered a fellowship at the Guildhall in conducting, with some amazing tutors there who kind of gave me all the opportunities to really learn the craft, and then started working a lot more in opera over the last 12 months. So yeah, mostly in new opera, so to come back to kind of the roots of opera with Don Giovanni is amazing.
Excellent, very good, very good. And Otis, how about you? How did you begin in the musical world, or did you start out as a boy, or how did it develop, and how did you end up here?
So, aged 11, I went to a friend's house, and they just started playing the cello, and I saw it, and I thought, that looks like quite a good instrument. It looks quite cool. Never heard it before, so I decided that was what I wanted to play, and I started at a local music service. And I'd played the trumpet for a bit before, but it was a bit too noisy in my head. So I decided that I needed something a bit quieter, which is ironically, now I'm an orchestral conductor. So nice and quiet. But no, it's lovely to be working on opera. I've never worked on a Mozart opera before, so it's really amazing to be able to it's a luxury to be able to spend so much time devoted to one piece in an environment where I'm not having to worry about putting on a performance myself, but it's just about really getting to know the piece in such an amazing city.
You had mentioned one thing. You said when you were younger you started a local music service. As in, what does that mean?
So I started playing at a local music service with a teacher. So it was just in a random primary school that was open on a Saturday.
Oh, right.
And so I started in group lessons with 4 other people, and then eventually went to a bigger one and kind of went through there, but never through school. And then I was in youth orchestra, which was where I was introduced to the concept of conducting, and that might be a thing. And through an amazing conductor who helped and gave me some lessons, I realized that you could pursue this as a thing. So I went to music college as a cellist, and I'm just about to start a master's in conducting.
Brilliant, brilliant. This is very good. So is it particularly exciting and inspiring to be in the city where Mozart, Beethoven, and so many musicians, composers, conductors even, have thrived and lived? Is this is this a kind of, if I can say the word milestone for you?
Yeah, this has been huge, and more than anywhere else, I've felt here that the music is kind of in the stones. Like we're working in the Brahmshalle and these places that are so kind of, the music is in every element of this city, and it feels so real and so current here as well. I think before I came, I thought it would be music as a museum piece, but it's something that is engaged with on such a real level as well. We were in a bar the other day talking about it, and the bar staff said, "Oh, so you're musicians, what are you doing?" And in London that would never happen. The idea of just normal people, it's something so normal here to have music as part of everyday life, and that's amazing.
So how would you describe a typical day here at the Academy? How are the classes? What are your experiences? How are you finding it so far? How would you say a typical day would be?
So first thing in the morning, usually me and Finan will meet for coffee to sort out what we're going to be doing in the day. And then we will have conducting class with Toby, who's the music director. And that will involve going over bits of Don Giovanni as well as personal work that we have to do with an amazing pianist, Jeremy. After this, we will have a lunch break, and then we will go on to proper rehearsals for Don Giovanni. So this will consist of runs, going over sections, vocal coaching, music rehearsals, and we'll end the day at about 6:30, go away, plan the next day, and do it all over again.
Very good. And how would you describe, now being that you're both studying conducting, and how would you describe your typical day here?
Well, we've always been saying that each day here at the Academy feels like we managed to pack in 2 or 3 days into one. And so the morning almost feels like if I get to that and I was done, I'd feel like I'd really achieved something. And then we go on and spend another section of the day working on something completely different and learning through working almost in the afternoons. And that feels like a completely different day in itself. And so it's intense, but you learn so much through just the full day.
Very good. And so ultimately, I mean, when we're speaking right now, so ultimately you're going to be performing Don Giovanni in the Mozart House. So this is quite impressive, and to say the least. And then, what would be your goals after you leave Vienna? What do you want to take away from the Academy? And how would you take the next steps? What are you looking? Well, we can imagine what you're looking forward to. But what would you say would be your immediate goals after you leave the Academy?
I think it's really created a real immediacy for me to go back to making music. That I can't spend another 4 months just thinking about it. And so I think going back to London and working out how we can put on more live performances and make music with people like we've been able to here. But also going back and thinking about and working on the things that in 3 weeks in a very intensive environment we've learnt here, taking those back and trying to really work those over the next months and years into how I work as a musician.
Okay, very good. And Otis, how do you see your time after you leave the Academy? What do you want to take away from this Academy?
So, as well as now having a much more intimate knowledge of this amazing piece, I think it's been lovely to have this stepping stone into what it might be to be in this profession, specifically in opera. So to work really amazingly with singers, to see coaches at work, to see the range of what goes into an opera, apart from what you might see on the surface. And so I think it's given me a lot more of an idea what it might be like to do this afterwards, but also, obviously, during the classes I've learned so much about exactly what it takes and the level of detail and commitment it takes to stage such a perfect piece of music.
Very good, very good. To, as a more entertaining question, have you had, or how shall I put it, what were your most embarrassing moments, or what was your most embarrassing moment in your career so far?
I remember very clearly, I was about 15 and I was singing at a big service with my school choir at the end of the year with the whole school, 1,500 people. And we had to just walk up one step to where we were singing. And my shoe caught in the front of my robe and I was flat on my face. And lying there thinking, oh dear, how do I get out of this without making it even worse than it already is? Something that will always live with me as a career lowlight, shall we say. But gladly, that was 10 years ago, and nothing has gone as badly since. So
There can only be highlights after that, right? I think so. Only highlights, not lowlights, highlights. Okay, and Otis, how about you?
Can I have a minute to think? I'm trying to think what would be best to say.
Actually, what would be worse to say? That's the question.
Exactly. As a conductor, as a cellist, I'm just trying to think of something that was truly horrific.
but isn't legal to air.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of something that.
Any mishaps on stage? Any mishaps on stage? Any faux pas? Any?
Forgotten scores.
No, I can't think of anything on the spot.
You can't think of anything?
No.
You can't think of. Okay, very good. Well,
That doesn't involve being horrifically hungover, and that would be quite bad to say.
Okay. Well, listen. I really appreciate you being here, Finan and Otis. Thank you so much, and talking about your experiences so far in your life and in relation to your time at the Vienna Opera Academy. I wish you all the best of luck. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.